Hi Andy, lovely to meet you the other day at the range and begin working on your swing. Hopefully you had a safe journey home and you got a lot out of the session that we had together. We'll take a little look here at the initial shots. Starting off with your setup, stance a little bit too wide, feet very much square on, so feet needed to be adjusted slightly. Right hand grip a little bit too weak, not a great deal of weight on the left hand side, so probably evenly distributed. Then from there, you know, there was a lot of nice things in your swing. You're doing a great job at staying centered. You can see the left shoulder working down and the extension of your spine on the way back. You know, good work on that. But the real issue we had was that the swing radius was too wide at P6, and the handle location and the weight location wasn't appropriate. And what you've learned to do is divide the elbows and stand up to prevent the club digging in the ground when the circumference is so wide at P6. So the first thing we wanted to do was we wanted to give you a few changes at setup. Flow the feet out maybe 15-20 degrees, put about 70% of your weight on your left. But then what we also wanted to do was we wanted to give you an understanding of weight location and handle location and how that affects the low point of your swing. And the drill that we gave you to do here was to, and don't be frightened of overdoing this, put a lot of weight on the left, put the handle way forward, and you're just going to try and maintain that position through the hitting area. Weight forward, handle forward. If the weight is forward and the handle is forward, we'll get that downward strike that we're looking for, where we hit out in front of the golf ball. Now, in regards to how this would affect your longer clubs, you can see there that the left knee maintains its flex on the way through. That's fine with an iron because we want to hit it with negative loft. If we have the same P6 position with a driver, what we would do is we would straighten the left leg more from P6 to P7 to bring the club out of its descent. So that's the slight change that you make within stack and tilt, or one of the slight changes that you make with a driver as opposed to an iron. So we're looking for weight forward and handle forward rather than what we see here, which is weight back, handle back. So here we are doing the drill at the start. We've got the weight forward more, we've got the handle forward more, and we're just trying to isolate impact. We're trying to control the low point, get a feel for where we want to be at impact. Remember what we discussed, the body's very good at going looking for a position it's familiar with. So if you can start to isolate pieces of the swing rather than trying to work on the whole swing every time you go to the range, then you're going to improve more rapidly than if someone's just trying to hit balls and tweak every bit of the swing. Like I said, if you've got the book going through your head every time you practice, you're going to really struggle to get anything done. As you can see now, as you're coming in, circumference of the swing narrower, handle more in line with the right thigh, elbow still coming away from the side. We discussed that. We want that elbow working in a little bit more, and that's a consequence of the way you change direction. When you're changing direction on your full swing from the top, you want to feel pressure moving into the left side more, so the weight increasing into the left side as the arms work down, loading accumulator too, so loading the wrists a little bit more at the start of the downswing, and that's going to prevent this right arm straightening too quick. On this first initial attempt at the drill, you can see the weight more forward, handle more forward, and you keep grooving that position, you're going to be onto a winner. And I'm just going to leave the swing there on that one so we can come to it with the extension drill as a comparison. When you were doing the drill at the end of your session, now particularly like this one, we put the weight further forward using the hips, and the handle's not quite as far forward as we were seeing at the start of the drill, where we were pumping the weight way forward and the handle way forward, etc. So I like the position you're in there. I mean, I quite like that. I think you would use that really well with your full swings. From there, the weight stays forward, the handle leads, much better impact position than you're seeing in your initial shots. And it is, a lot of this is familiarity, getting comfortable with something so that the body goes looking for it when you're moving at speed. What we then need to learn to do, because we're now loading more weight onto the left hand side, we can see here on the top right that we stay flexed forward for too long and don't really tuck the hips sufficiently in the through swing. Now, it's never been a problem in the past, because what we were doing here, we were straightening the left leg and extending and standing up right from the off. And the reason we were doing that was because we were throwing all the angles away too soon. You can see there that accumulator 2 is not loading sufficiently, and loads too quick. Circumference of the swing's too wide, so to prevent the club digging in the ground, we extend and divide the elbows. So the extension piece was in there, but we didn't have enough forward movement from the top. You can see there now you've extended rather than flex forward. So what we're doing on this one, back to the other one, we're increasing the weight forward, so we're going down into the ground. And what we've got to learn now is how to push up as we come through. So it's doing things in sequence. The drill we gave you for that was to really shorten the backswing, so we've got 0 accumulators on the way back. The only angles we have to release and create power now are the angles in the knees, the hips, and the forward flex at address. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use that to power the shot forward. So we've got 0 accumulation of power on the way back, and then trying to hit the ball as far as we can. You can see the basket in place there, a couple of feet behind the ball to limit the length of backswing. So we've got no length in the backswing, we've got no creation of levers in the backswing. All we can do now is get rid of the angles that are in the ankles, the knees, the pelvis and the thoracic. So you're just going to push up, get rid of all those angles, and there's that nice extension that you had at the start of your session. So it's a combination of the movement of the weight forward and the loading of the levers on the way down, and then the extension on the way through, learning to push up as you come through, extending into the finish. Great work, great session, and I look forward to some follow-up video from you to see how things are progressing. Take care. Well done.